Alright, time for another Everest update, y'all. So I mentioned in the last video that I had a beadlock come undone, but what I didn't realize is that basically all of the beadlocks were coming undone. Upon closer inspection, you can see this one here too, starting to come out, and yep, there it is, slides right out. And this one back here, I think it was also out. Oh, still some water in there, but yeah, so this one's out here. So I'm not sure that they tightened those bead locks down quite enough from the factory. I've beat on it pretty good, but I've beat on wheels that I've done the bead locks on much harder than that, and haven't had them come out that often. So again, I know bead locks can come out, not an unheard of thing, but I think having all of those bead locks coming out like that is showing that they just didn't tighten these screws down enough here from the factory. Not a huge deal. A lot of people are probably going to take them off, swap wheels and stuff anyways, but definitely could be a nuisance for anybody new to the hobby. I think they should definitely get those tightened down a lot better on there. So anyways, past that, I haven't done any actual driving with it since the last video. Obviously still need to get some water out of the tires there. But what I wanted to talk about today was the steering again. There's been a couple recommendations to shave this little nub down in here. Zoom in a bit. So see, you got a little nub right there that when you turn the steering wheel, or it actually hits that screw right there. So the common recommendation is to just sand that nub down and you should pick up another degree or two of steering. Problem with that is this right here. There's not much room there. I mean, I think any bit we gain from here could be negated by this. I mean, it's pretty much full turn now, and you can see there's a little bit of a gap there, but there's not much. So, and the same thing when you turn the other way. This way though, it actually does make contact, whereas the other side was already just close. Turning that way does make contact with the diff. So I think the best fix, I think we can definitely get a few more degrees steering this way, because there is still, you know, a millimeter or two of gap there. But coming back this way, I don't see possibility for really any more steering angle unless this just slides and doesn't change the gap there, but it will, because it's at an angle and it's sliding. So I'm gonna see. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do here in just a second is sand this down, and then y'all should be able to see with me if this gap goes away or not. Turned this way. If the gap is gone, then obviously we've gained a little bit of steering, but you can see there is not much room there right now. So I'm not expecting miracles. I think to have the nub sanding mod be effective, this is going to have to be pulled out a little, or the diff is going to have to be thinned somehow, which I think would be a lot more problematic than getting a bent rod for the steering linkage. I mean, the Wraith does, from the factory, the axial Wraith does have that little bend right here, so it can clear the actual differential and everything. So not an unheard of thing, and I don't think it would be too bad of an option if I can't pick up any more steering there. So I'm gonna leave the bead locks for now, but I am gonna bust out the Dremel real quick and go ahead and grind this down. Zoom in here again, but I'm not just gonna grind the whole nub off. What I plan on doing is putting a little bit of paint right here on the top of this guy, turning the wheel all the way in, letting that paint transfer onto the nub, and then just grinding down the nub right around where it makes contact. So I'm not going to take the whole nub away, just because I guess paranoid about that weakening it too much. But yeah, I'm gonna grind that down and see if it gives us a bit more clearance to turn the steering, which should then close that gap and get us as much steering as possible without doing some work on the diff there. So anyways, I will be back in a minute with that, and we'll see how it turns out. Thanks. Alright, so we are fully trimmed up. Let me get a little more light over here. So, you can see, I haven't cleaned it up yet, so there's still some scuff marks there, but that nub has been ground down. I did have to grind pretty much the entire surface on the top down. I was hoping to just do that peak of the nub, like right here, but as it turned in more, the back of that nub started hitting the screw there. So now it just barely touches, pretty much clears it, but you'll see here on the diff, that is going to keep us from getting any more angle no matter how much we trim off of that nub there. So definitely picked up, I mean, I don't know, a degree, 2, 3, I don't know how many, but you can tell simply by the fact that that gap is gone and that is moving in further now. That will obviously have some more steering angle, but not quite as good as I was hoping for. I'll get the wheels remounted, or the tires remounted onto the wheels, and take it back out for a little test run pretty soon here, and see exactly how much benefit that had. Not expecting miracles, but like I mentioned, any little bit was beneficial. So I'm going to go ahead, and even though we've got pretty much already have the other side making contact here, if I can get that to focus, since that's already making contact, I'm not expecting much out of this side, but I'm going to go ahead and do the mod on this side as well, just so if I do end up getting a bent bar or finding a way to, you know, maybe slim this diff down, then I'll have, you know, full motion both ways. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out, and then pull all the wheels off, pull all the tires off, and give her a good once over and get her ready for another trail bashing session. So, alright, it's a quick update on steering, and yeah, I'll take it easy. Thanks for watching.